Hello, guys. Welcome to a New Year's edition of Football Heaven 24/7. I'm your host, Jamie. Um, I'm wearing my retro Scunny training jacket today, Scunthorpe United. That's the old badge from before, I believe, 1988, 88 or 89. Um, the reason I'm doing it is in tribute to Scunthorpe's first win in 11 games. They beat Maidenhead 3-0 in the conference. Uh, Still bottom of the conference, obviously, but a great result for them. Um, Not so great for my other team, Forest, who got smashed 4-1 by Blackpool in the FA Cup on the weekend. It's now Tuesday, the 10th of January, as I'm doing this video. I had my kids for holiday, so basically, yeah, Forest got absolutely smashed. They played a second string team. They lost 4-1 to Blackpool. But going through the other FA Cup results, there was a few other shocks on the weekend. Wrexham won 4-3 away at Coventry, so that's a conference team winning away at a championship team, which was absolutely insane. Probably even crazier result was Stevenage beating Aston Villa. They were 1-0 down going into the last couple of minutes of the game, and Stevenage got 2 goals back in the last few minutes and won 2-1 away at Aston Villa. Now, Aston Villa obviously had a mainly second string team out, but there was a few of the regular players that would play in the Premier League. And yeah, so good win for Stevenage there. I'm just going to run through the other results of the weekend in the FA Cup. Burnley beat Bournemouth 4-2 away, which was a tiny bit of a shock, but not really, because Burnley are top of the Championship and Bournemouth are struggling a little bit in the Premier League. Accrington drew 1-1 away at Boreham Wood. Brentford lost 1-0 at home to West Ham. Chesterfield had a crazy game in which they were 2-0 up, 3-1 up at one point in the game, and they ended up losing the game. Drawing the game 3-3. As I say, Coventry City lost 4-3 to Wrexham. Crystal Palace lost 2-1 at home to Southampton. Fleetwood Town pulled off a shot, beating Queen's Park Rangers 2-1. Gillingham lost to Leicester City 1-0 at home. Grimsby Town got to the fourth round of the FA Cup for the first time in 23 years, beating Burton Albion by 1-0. Hull City lost 2-0 at home to Fulham. Ipswich Town beat Rotherham 4-1. Liverpool drew with Wolves 2-0. That was a great result for Wolves. They've been struggling a bit recently. 1-1 draw between Luton and Wigan. Middlesbrough lost 5-1 at home to Brighton, having pulled a goal back to make it 1-1. Millwall lost 2-0 at home to Sheffield United. Preston won 3-1 at home to Huddersfield. Reading beat Watford 2-0. Sheffield Wednesday pulled off a shot, beating Newcastle 2-1. And Shrewsbury Town, they were winning with literally in normal time, and then it went into injury time at the end of the second half. Goals from Stewart and O'Neill gave Sunderland a great win after looking like they were dead and buried. Tottenham had a narrow win at home to Portsmouth, winning 1-0. Goal from Harry Kane. Forest Green and Birmingham was postponed because of a waterlogged pitch. Anyway, going on to the Sunday fixtures. Aston Villa, like I say, lost at home to Stevenage 2-1. Bristol City drew 1-0 with Swansea. Cardiff drew 2-2 with Leeds United, having been 2 goals up in that game. Derby County beat Barnsley 3-0. Stoke absolutely smashed Hartlepool 3-0 at Hartlepool. Manchester City likewise smashed Chelsea 4-0 at home. Blackburn won 1-0 away at Norwich City. And Stockport County lost 2-1 against Walsall. There was a Friday night FA Cup game, and Manchester United beat Everton 3-1 in that one. So that's what happened in the FA Cup. Going into League One and League Two. League One, there weren't many games, but Bolton was playing Plymouth. It was 5th against 1st in the league. That ended up being 0-0 in the end. No real movements there in League One. Plymouth are still top of the table. Bristol Rovers came from going a goal behind to beat Cambridge United 2-1 away. And Charlton beat Lincoln 2-1, and Morecambe beat Cheltenham 2-1. So looking at the top of the League One table, Plymouth are still top, like I said earlier. Sheffield Wednesday are in second. In the playoffs, it's Ipswich, Derby, Bolton, and Barnsley. And in the relegation zone in League One, it's Accrington Stanley, uh, Burton Albion, MK Dons, and Forest Green Rovers are at the bottom of League One. Going into League Two, AFC Wimbledon drew 0-0 away at Crewe Alexander. Harrogate won, Colchester 3. Leyton Orient won, Doncaster 0. Leyton Orient stayed top by 5 points with that result, with Stevenage obviously playing in the FA Cup and getting that great result at Villa. Mansfield were 2-0 up against Barrow, but lost 3-2 in the end at home. Rochdale drew 1-1 with Newport. Salford City won 2-1 at home to Northampton Town. And Tranmere drew 2-2 with Sutton United. So, top of League Two table, it's Leyton Orient. This, like I said earlier, 5 points clear. Stevenage are in second, Northampton in third. In the playoff places in League Two, it is Carlisle United, Bradford City, Barrow, and Salford City. And then going into just outside the playoffs in League Two, you've got Swindon and Mansfield. But going down to the bottom of League Two, Rochdale and Gillingham occupy the bottom two places. But Gillingham have just had a new American owner come in, and he's going to pump a lot of money in over the next few weeks in the January transfer window. So I think possibly Gillingham have got a good chance of getting out as long as they recruit the right players. Now they've got some good financial backing coming in. Paul Scally, who was the chairman of Gillingham for 28 years, he'd done quite a good job up until the last few years, keeping him in League One, obviously getting him into the Championship. But ultimately, Gillingham have ended up being bottom of League Two about just over halfway through the season. But I think, like I say, with that financial backing, Gillingham should pull away from the relegation zone. Anyway, that's what's going on in the weekend's action. I'm gonna, because there was mainly FA Cup going on the weekend, I'm gonna just run through what happened in the conference. Obviously, where my beloved Scunthorpe play, even though they're bottom still, like I said, they won 3-0 against Maidenhead. 3 goals by Caelan Lavery. Notts County kept up their top position on the table, but they played 2 games more than Wrexham, who are in second. If Wrexham win their games in hand, Wrexham can overtake them by 1 point, but that's only if they win the 2 games in hand on them. But as I say, Notts County are at the top with 61 points, having won 3-0 away at Aldershot. Altrincham against Bromley was postponed due to a waterlogged pitch. Barnet drew 1-1 with Gateshead. Dagenham lost 2-1 at home to Woking. Dorking lost 5-1 at home to Oldham, as Oldham are having a bit of a revival at the moment. They're now outside of the relegation area after that good win for them. Southend stayed in the playoff places in the conference, winning an impressive win against Solihull Moors 3-0. Torquay United pulled a little bit further away from the bottom of the league by beating Halifax Town at home, so that was a good win for them. Wealdstone continued their great recent form, staying in the last playoff place in the conference, winning 3-1 against Eastleigh. And York beat Maidstone United, should I say, 4-1. So, yeah, looking at the table, as I say, Notts County are top in the conference. You've got Wrexham, Chesterfield, Woking, Barnet, Southend and Wealdstone in the playoff places. Dagenham and Eastleigh are just outside. And at the bottom of the conference, it's Gateshead, Torquay United, Maidstone United and Scunthorpe United at the bottom. So that's what's going on at the moment. But I think, and unfortunately, the guy that scored 3 goals for Scunthorpe at the weekend is most likely going to get sold to a bigger club because he's coming out of contract soon. So there's no chance of Scunny keeping hold of him. Scunthorpe have got a transfer embargo at the moment as well, so they've got no chance of bringing in players or retaining the players. So, oh well, they might go down to the Conference North, but keep supporting them because, as everyone knows, once you're getting your love for your team, it never dies. So, wherever they are, whatever league they're in. So, yeah, so that's what's happening with all the results from the weekend just gone by. But I'm going to go into the fixtures that are coming up for the week ahead. Arsenal last night on Monday night, they had a FA Cup, the final FA Cup game of the weekend. They won 3-0 away at Oxford, but they left it quite late in the day. They scored 3 goals in the last sort of 20 odd minutes of the game. So yeah, Arsenal through to the next round, and they will play Manchester City away. But going on to tonight's fixtures, there's a couple of games in the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup. Manchester United at home to Charlton. My prediction for that, I'm going to go for Manchester United to win that one 3-0. Newcastle are also at home to Leicester City in another quarter-final tie. And I'm going to go for Newcastle to win that one 2-1. And then there's a couple of games. Well, there's one game in League Two, and that's Bradford City against Rochdale. And I think I'll go for Bradford City to win that one 2-0. And then looking into the Papa John's Trophy fourth round, it's Bolton Wanderers against Portsmouth. Actually, I'm not going to do all them, to be honest, because that's a Mickey Mouse. Cool. Anyway, go on to Wednesday night. Wednesday night, it's Carabao Cup quarter-final. The next two teams. Forest, my team, or the team that they're playing against Wolves. I think they'll win that 1-2-1. I think Forest are on a good run at home at the moment. They should have beaten Chelsea when they last played at home, when they drew 1-1. They're playing some good stuff at home. They got the first win away at Southampton, which they had to win because Southampton were bottom of the Prem. But yeah, talking about quarter-final, I'm going to go for Forest to win that 1-2-1. People might say I'm biased, but Wolves aren't having a great season either, and I think Wolves are still in the relegation zone, even though they had a good draw away at Liverpool in the Cup. So yeah, 2-1 for Forest, I'm going to say there. Southampton against Manchester City. I'm going to go for Manchester City to win 3-0 away in that one as well. And then on Thursday night, you've got Fulham and Chelsea, so really local London derby. Chelsea on a bad run at the moment, and Fulham are playing really well. Fulham are actually higher in the table. I think Fulham are 7th, and Chelsea are 10th. Chelsea, obviously, they got Graham Potter in charge. He's had 18 games with them so far this season, and they've only won 8. So there's some knives out from some Chelsea fans. Some are backing him. I think he needs the whole of this season as a transition period. Those players aren't his players, obviously. They're Tuchel's players and previous managers' players. Excuse me. So I think the chairman at Chelsea, Ted Boehly, should stick with Graham Potter and then see where they can go from next season. And obviously next season he'll have to start getting good results and get Chelsea in the Champions League places. So anyway, but as I say, Fulham and Chelsea, it's a tight one to predict. It's a local derby, but I'm going to edge it and just in Fulham's favour 2-1. More misery for Chelsea fans at the moment. But then, so that's what I'm going to say for that one. That'll push Chelsea up to 6th, I believe. And then Aston Villa are playing Leeds United on Friday night. Aston Villa absolutely shocking in the cup, obviously, on Saturday or Sunday even, against Leeds. But Leeds aren't doing much better. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw in that game. And then we're going to go on to Saturday's fixtures. There's quite a lot of them. I'll run through them quick, just to give my predictions like I normally do. Saturday, the early kick-off, it's the Manchester derby between Man United and Manchester City. Man United are doing really, really well at home at the moment. City, obviously, are doing quite well as well. They're in second in the league, 5 points behind Arsenal at the top. Do you know what? I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw in that. I feel like Man United are starting to play some really good football, so I'll go 2-2 in that one. Brentford are then playing Bournemouth. Bournemouth have had a bit of a shocking run of results at the moment, and Brentford are on a really, really good run, especially at home. Absolutely smashed Liverpool last time out, 3-1. I'm going to say 3-1 again to Brentford against Bournemouth. Brighton's playing Liverpool. Going to go for a shock one there. I'm going to go for Brighton to beat Liverpool 2-1. Everton against Southampton. I'm going to say Everton to win that one narrowly 1-0. Oh no, I'll go for 1-1 actually in that game. Then Forest against Leicester. I think Forest will do it again. I'm going to go for Forest to win that one 2-1. And then Wolves against West Ham. I'm going to say West Ham to win that one 2-1 as well. And then going into Championship, Bristol City against Birmingham City. Bristol City, that ain't doing great at the moment, but I'm going to go for 1-1 in that one. Burnley against Coventry, 3-1 I'm going to go for Burnley there. Cardiff against Wigan, I'm going to say 2-1 to Cardiff. Hull City against Huddersfield, I'm going to go 2-0 Huddersfield. Luton Town against West Bromwich Albion, 2-1 to Luton I'm going to go for. Middlesbrough against Millwall, going to go for Middlesbrough to win that one 2-1. Preston against Norwich City, going to go for a 1-0 win to Preston. Reading against Queen's Park Rangers, going to say Reading to win that one 2-1. Rotherham against Blackburn, going to go for Blackburn and Rotherham to draw 2-2. Sheffield United against Stoke. Going to say 2-0 Sheffield United. Sunderland against Swansea City. Going to go Sunderland to win that one 2-1. And Watford against Blackpool. I'm going to say 3-0 to Watford in that one. I'm not going to go through League One and League Two because it'll take too long. But we'll go on to Sunday fixtures for the Premier League. It's Chelsea at home to Crystal Palace, 2 o'clock kickoff. I'm going to go for Chelsea to get back on track in that game. I'm going to go 2-0 Chelsea. Newcastle against Fulham, going to go for 2-0 Newcastle in that one. And it's a massive London derby between Tottenham and Arsenal. Arsenal are having a fantastic season. Fought a little bit against Newcastle, but Newcastle are on a good season as well. They drew 0-0 with Newcastle at home in their last Premier League game. But I'm going to go Arsenal to edge it 2-1 in that game. And then there's a big game. Well, it's not a big game, but it's in the semi-finals of the Premier Sports Cup in Scotland. Rangers against Aberdeen on Sunday. I'm going to go Rangers to win that one 2-0. And then on the Monday, there's a League One game, Port Vale against Peterborough. And I'm going to say Port Vale to beat Peterborough 2-0 in that one. So that's what my predictions for that. Actually, you know what? I'll run down League One and League Two. Why not? League One on the Saturday, Accrington against Bristol Rovers. I'm going to go 2-1 Bristol Rovers. Bolton against Portsmouth. I'm going to say 2-0 Bolton. Burton Albion against Shrewsbury. Going to go for a 1-1 draw. Cambridge United against Morecambe. 2-0 Cambridge. 2-1 Morecambe even because Morecambe's on a good run. Charlton against Barnes. I'm going to say 2-1 Charlton. Cheltenham against Derby County. Derby to win that one 2-0. Exeter against Forest Green. 2-0 to Exeter. Fleetwood Town against Oxford United. Going to go for a 2-1 win to Fleetwood. Ipswich Town against Plymouth. That's a battle of two of the top three. Plymouth's at the top, Ipswich in third. I'm going to stick my neck on the line. I'm going to go for a 1-0 win to Plymouth. MK Dons against Lincoln City. So I'm going to say 2-1 to MK Dons. Wickham against Sheffield Wednesday. That's going to be a really tough game, really tight game. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. And then going through League Two real quick, AFC Wimbledon are playing Bradford City. I'm going to predict that AFC Wimbledon will lose that one 2-1. Carlisle United against Newport County. Going to say 2-0 to Carlisle. Crawley Town against Doncaster Rovers. 2-1 to Donny for that one. Gillingham against Hartlepool. I'm going to go for Gillingham to get a much needed win. I'm going to say 2-0 to Gillingham in that one. Harrogate Town against Stevenage. Going to say a 1-1 draw. 3-1 to Stevenage. I'm going to go. Leyton Orient against Barrow. I'm going to say 2-0 to Leyton Orient. Mansfield against Crewe. 3-1 to Mansfield. Rochdale against Colchester United. Colchester on a bit of a run at the moment. I'm going to go for him to beat Rochdale 2-1. Salford City against Sutton United are going to go 2-0 Salford City even. Stockport at home to Northampton Town. Going to say 3-1 to Stockport. Swindon Town against Grimsby Town. Going to say 2-1 Swindon. And Tranmere against Walsall finally in League Two. That I will say Walsall will win 2-0. So that's my predictions for all the games ahead. Have a great week, whoever's team you support. I've been Jamie Carter. This has been Football 11 24/7. Get all your friends to like and subscribe. I'm going to keep doing more content. I'm actually going to go out around the grounds in the second half of the season, talk to some of the fans at whatever games I go to, get some predictions, and continue to get behind us. Thank you to everybody that's likes and subscribes. Appreciate your time. I don't edit or any of this, as you can probably tell. I do everything off the top of my head, based on my general knowledge of the week of all the teams. I follow quite a lot of the teams. I don't just follow my own team. I like to think that because I don't do a lot of crazy research, I just generally look in the paper and keep an eye on a Saturday, watching Sky Sports Soccer Saturday and things like that. I like to think I put a good knowledge across, and I'm sure that the ones that follow me regularly definitely agree with that. as I said earlier, have a great week. Bye for now, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.